knees as wide as the mat if possible, and then just rest down, forehead down to the mat. Arms nice and long. Once you come down, just see if you can walk your fingers a little more towards the top of your mat, creating that stretch into the arms. And let's take a few long breaths here. Ideally in and out through the nose, but if there's any congestion, it can be the mouth. So our nose naturally cleanses the breath when we breathe in. You can feel that slight warmth as the breath leaves the body and the coolness of the breath as it comes into the body. Taking a moment to already thank yourself for showing up for yourself this morning, coming onto your yoga mat. Let's take a walk over to our right side with the head and the hands, and then maybe place that left hand on top of the right as you drop down. Just feeling that space in the left hand side of the body. Maybe just bringing your awareness as to why you do show up on your mat. What does your yoga practice give you? It all gives us different things. And the more we practice, the more those areas in our life start to feel more balanced. We get better at responding rather than reacting. We're going to take that walk over to the other side. Dropping the head to the left, right hand on the left hand. And we also, I feel, become better at listening to our bodies. Being kinder to ourselves, talking to ourselves with kind words, less judgment, less criticism. And when we speak to ourselves in this way, we then do the same with others. We're not judging. We're not constantly maybe pleasing or doing things we don't want to do. We get better at being more protective, saying no. We're going to take that walk back to centre and then just walk yourself back up. Just bring the knees in so they are hip width apart, and let's just step the hands back just to open into our chest and our shoulders. So maybe it's just a case of staying here, peeling the shoulders backwards like you're trying to squeeze them together, or maybe you're also pushing up into your hips as well. You decide where you want your head, if you want to keep the chin tucked in, or you want that throat opener of dropping the head back. Whole of the front body expanding all the way down to the knees. We're going to roll the body back down all of the way. Place the hands back in front of you and just shift the knees back so you're in that table position. We're going to tuck the toes under and just lift off the knees so you start to feel engagement in your core. Bringing the knees up a little higher, just drop the right and then drop the left. So it's just a very small movement, dropping each knee. Try not to shift the hips too much, using the core for the movement. And then hovering both knees up, starting to bend back towards your heels, so pushing your arms long, sitting back towards the heels just like we do in Balasana, sending the body backwards. And then from here, starting to straighten the legs, bringing the heels down towards your mat. Let's walk into the right leg and just push the toes into the mat. So a little shift here, a little rock and roll side to side, and then drop that right foot back down. Do the same with the left. We rarely think about stretching our toes, but it is an area again that does hold tension. We think how much pressure we put on our feet. And then shift back down. So you're in your down dog. Stretch even longer in your arms. Really push the palms into the mat. Fingers are wide. Middle finger pointing up towards the top of your mat. And we're going to take that walk to the hands or all the way to the top of the mat. Bringing the feet together once you're there and just coming back to that forward fold. Just let the upper body feel heavy. We're going to come up slowly using the core again, bringing the arms all the way up. Palms together, looking up, feeling ready to embrace our day. Any new opportunity that it brings us. And let's exhale to our heart center. Inhale, bringing the arms up. Exhale all the way down. Send that gaze forward. Step that right leg back and the left for our first plank. Maybe here we want to drop the knees as we slowly lower down to our mat. And we take that roll into our cobra, peeling the shoulders back, elbows pointing back. We're going to sit back to the heels, dropping the forehead down. And we're going to come back to that rolling motion. So we're rolling forward, staying on the knees for now, coming down to our mat, slowly with control, rolling to our cobra and coming back to our heels. Warming up the middle part of the body. Rolling forward onto the knees, maybe this time pushing into the toes, heels back, lowering down to your mat. Relaxing the toes as you roll to your cobra and back to the heels. Let's do one more. Inhaling up onto those toes. Exhaling down to your mat. Inhale, cobra. And exhale into Balasana. Take that wiggle side to side, delving into the hips a little. And coming back to down dog when you're ready. Taking that walk to the top of the mat. Feet together, legs together and fold. Let's bend the knees, bring the arms up into a chair pose. Sitting back towards your heels. Hands come to the heart. We're going to twist over to our right side. Left elbow pointing up. Right elbow pointing up, left pointing down. And maybe sending your gaze towards your right elbow. Breathing back to center. Let's take that the other way, over to our left side. Again, maybe the head is turning towards that left elbow. Inhaling back. Let's breathe in, bring the arms up and come up onto your toes as well, pushing the toes back into your mat. Finding balance here. Exhale, fold all the way back down to the toes, dropping the head. Inhale, push the spine up to the ceiling. Step back, left leg and the right, back into your plank. Pushing into the heels and then rolling to the toes. Pushing back into the heels, forward to the toes. One more. Really push those heels back. Roll to the big toe. And then back to the heels and lower down to your mat. Keeping the chin down, arms alongside your body. We're going to roll up the chin, the chest, the arms, the legs, and squeeze the back of the body. Really squeezing into the glutes, the legs, the lower back. Like you're trying not to touch your mat. Pulling the arms, the hands back. Fingers wide, really engaging all of the muscles. Exhale, lower back down. Hands come just under the shoulders. Push up and back into your down dog. Placing the feet down, heels back. Let's take the right leg long. Inhale, bring it in towards the chest. Squeeze it in as much as you can and hold. Exhale, take that leg long. Inhale, roll it forward. Exhale, leg long. Inhale, knee in. Let's drop that knee towards the hands. Shift that left leg back. Bringing off the hands from your mat into your pigeon pose. Really pushing into the hips. Holding here. And then maybe dropping down towards your mat. You can always make a pillow with your hands as you rest the forehead down. Once you're here, again, just take that little movement side to side. Maybe it feels good to push into one side, the left hip maybe if it's tight. And then just find that point that feels good to stay here for a few breaths. Taking one more breath. When you come up, just bring your forearms down so they're underneath your shoulders. So elbows in line with your shoulders. Palms are pushing into your mat. We're going to step it back into a forearm plank. So you're holding here, grounding the palms. Weight on the elbows. Neck is long. We're not lifting the head up. We don't want to crunch into the back of the neck. Really engaging the core. Might start to feel that a little more. We're still holding the breath. Keep the bottom low. Still breathing fully, not holding, sorry, breathing fully. Let's take one more full breath all the way into the belly. And then drop your knees first. Come back onto your hands and back into your down dog. Push back. Breathing fully. Feeling that belly rise. Ready for the left side, left leg back. We're inhaling, pulling that knee towards our chest. Pausing here. And then exhaling it back. We've got that inhale in. Exhale long. Let's do that again. Holding it. And then drop that knee down. Shift that right leg back. We want to come onto our fingertips. There's no weight in the hands. We just feel that stretch into the lower back, into the front of the hips, growing tall in the spine. And then we start to take that walk forwards. Dropping the forehead or making a pillow with our hands. Make sure both hips are pointing down towards the mat. No tension in the toes. And then maybe you're just shifting that movement a little. And back to listening to what's going on in the body. You know, our hips are our areas of emotion. It's quite normal to maybe feel things coming up here, just as a way to release them. Let's take one more breath. And then we are coming back to our elbows underneath our shoulders, shoulder width apart, palms pushing into your mat, ready for that forearm plank. Shift the feet back and hold. Pushing the heels back, spine long. Grounding those palms. Thinking those happy thoughts. We've just got a few more breaths. Strengthening our core and our lower back. From here, you're just going to shift your left hand forward towards your right. Elbow stays where it is. And we roll into a side plank. Pulling away from our mat. Maybe stacking the feet, or you can keep one foot in front of the other if you want to. You know, our elbows in the right place under our shoulder. Just drop that left hip down a little and then push it back up. Drop it down. Push it strong. We're doing one more. Pushing strong. Place that right hand back down, lower all the way down to your mat. Relax the arms alongside you. Inhale, back up, chin, chest, arms, legs, squeezing everything. Holding here. Pulling back, engaging the glutes, hamstrings, even down to the toes, pointing the toes away. Rolling back down to your mat, elbows back under the shoulders, feet flat for now, just coming into a Sphinx pose, gentle version of Cobra. Just turn so I can see you. So just make sure your elbows are underneath your shoulders. Palms are grounding back into the mat. We're going to push up onto our toes. Back into that forearm plank. And then we're going to shift that right hand towards our left hand. The elbow doesn't move. We roll onto our left side, left arm long, maybe stacking the feet. And we have the option of just keeping both feet down. Reaching even longer with that left arm. Long breath. I can feel this side definitely needs more work than the other. We're going to drop hip down and push up. Drop that hip, push up strong. One more, I promise. Pushing strong. Drop back into your forearm plank. Hold. Last breath. Lower all the way down to your mat. Hands under the shoulders, push yourself up into your Balasana. Drop the forehead, release the arms. Find that long breath again. Becomes much more challenging in our strengthening poses to keep that breath long and balanced. We're finding that again now. Rolling back up when you're ready, all of the way. We're going to send the hands back behind us, fingers down. Holding here, squeeze the shoulders back, and then maybe we're pushing up into our hips. Lowering back down. Taking those legs from underneath you, sending them out long. Let's just shift a little so we know we're sitting evenly on the glute muscles. Let's inhale, reach up for a forward fold. Want to release our lower back. Reach the hands forward, maybe using your strap here. Relax your shoulders. We don't want the shoulders up here, we want to peel them down. And then just start to use your breath. Maybe delving further as you exhale. We're going to stay 2 more breaths. Heartbeat to come back to normal. We come up with the inhalation. And we're taking the hands back behind us, fingers pointing forward, leaning back on the arms. We've got distance in the hand, in line with the shoulders. We're going to point the toes and maybe push up into an upward plank, resting back on the hands. Gaze is down towards the toes. Seeing the belly rise with the breath. We've got 1 more breath. We slowly lower back down to our mat. Take a bend into the knees. Take the arms out, palms facing upwards. Maybe lift off one leg or both for our boat pose. The straighter the legs, the more you're engaging that core area. If it feels too much, you keep that bend in. And maybe as you take your breaths long, you start to lengthen into the legs as well. Gaze is at the toes. Last breath. And bring those knees in. Just fold forward. Give yourself a hug. Staying with the bend in the legs. This is where we grab our weight, or maybe we're using our block. Doesn't matter which one. We're holding it in our hands. We're lifting off the feet again. And we're going to come to our twist. So we're going to send the body over to the right side. Take that hold. Inhale back to center. And twist over to our left side. If it feels too strong, we can keep our feet down. Inhale, center. Exhale. So just finding that rhythm with your breath. We're going to keep the movement slow. We don't want to injure our back. Always full awareness. Hopefully you're feeling more awake. We're going to do 2 more. And coming back to center, drop the legs, drop your weight. Let's lie down on our back. As we come down, just draw the knees in towards you. Plant the feet down on your mat. Grab your weight again if you have one, and place it onto your hips. We're grounding the feet into the mat. If you've got quite light weights, you can have 2, 1 on each hip. Tuck the chin in, push into a gentle bridge, squeezing the glutes. We're going to start to drop the glute down towards our mat and then push back up. This time it's just a gentle roll down, not too far, and a squeeze back up. So imagine you're just pulsing, but the movement is slow. You want to feel all of the muscles working. Just a gentle drop down, squeeze up. Let's do a few more here. Two more. Last one. Holding here now. Two more breaths. One more. And then that slow, slow release back down. Just send the arms away from the body, palms facing up. Draw the knees in towards the chest. Drop the knees over to the right. Maybe turning the head to the left. Coming back to center, knees to that left side. Maybe a turn of the head to the right. And then back to center. Drop your feet down to your mat. Just cactus the arms, so you're bending at the elbows, palms facing upwards. And if it feels comfortable, just bringing the soles of the feet together and closing the eyes. Pushing your lower spine into the mat. Absorbing the energy of your practice now flowing through your body. I always think yoga is like a secret, and only those that practice realize how good the body and mind is meant to feel. And back to that sweet honey, that nectar. Just embracing this moment for a little longer. ready, just bring your hands to the outer edge of the legs and draw your knees back together. And then draw the knees into the chest, giving yourself a hug, a squeeze, maybe a roll side to side. Slowly, slowly bringing yourself back up. Hands to your heart center. And let's bow to Namaste. Namaste, everyone.